Hello guys and welcome back. Let's understand all about VPNs. We talk about a checkpoint VPNs. In this video, we're going to discuss in detail what we have in terms of different aspect of the checkpoint firewall, right? One by one, we're going to touch each and every point and we will understand how this checkpoint VPN works, what are their terms, condition from the scratch, so that you guys going to relate all those things when we process with respect to our labs, right? So I hope this video you're going to find informative. So watch this video till the end. Don't skip any topic. Let me begin with the checkpoint VPNs. So, in general, what is VPN? Let me just write. What is VPN? Right. In general, what we call this term VPN. Give me one sec. We're going to talk about checkpoint VPNs. Okay. In general, what is VPN? What VPN does? Okay. Let's understand that. A VPN is a secure connectivity platform that connects networks and protects the data passing between them. You are working with some organization, I would call it A, okay, and this is a main company, and you have this organization located in USA, and sub branches or the footprints are located in other countries like say uh, A1 as in the sub company which is in UK, like A1-1 as a sub company which or a sister company or a branch office which is located in somewhere in Europe. Okay, like that, other companies are located across the globe. Okay, and this connection is all over the world. Okay, what that means, they have the connectivity between all these or the internet. Okay, but this connectivity is public, it's not private. Okay, public means anyone can look into this data, right? So VPN provides you a way to have this connectivity private. There is something called gateway which provides privacy by encrypting those connections, right? These connections that need to be secure. So gateway, I would say, when I say gateway, gateway is nothing but your firewall. So here we will have some firewall. At this offices also we will have some firewalls. Okay. In this case, consider this is a checkpoint firewall. Okay. So this gateway will establish a tunnel between these firewalls. I mean, this firewalls establish a tunnel between them, and what are the communication happening between them. Now this is private. Private means secure and no one else is looking into this connection. So basically a VPN employs encrypted tunnel to exchange securely protected data. The security gateways creates encrypted tunnels by using the IKE. We're going to see what is IKE and IPsec. IPsec packets as struck that carry the encrypted data along the tunnels. So between this gateway, a tunnel will form, and IKE and IPsec will act as a truck to transfer data between them. And all the significance of IKE, IPsec will be seen in a bit. I hope what is VPN is clear to you guys. In Checkpoint, when we talk about the VPN with something called VPN deployments. VPN deployments. VPN deployments have two types in Checkpoint. Number one is your site-to-site VPN, and the other one is remote access VPN. A site-to-site VPN are built to handle secure communication between companies' internal department, branch offices. A site-to-site VPN we design requirements keeping in mind such as strong data encryption to protect confidential information, reliability for mission-critical systems such as database management, scalability to accommodate growth and change whatsoever in your companies. But when we talk about the remote access VPN, we built to handle secure communication between corporate network and remote employees. The difference between the site-to-site and remote VPN is for site-to-site we think about two different branches, two different sites. But when we talk about the remote access VPN, we think about your site or a branch and a employee. So employee, nothing but the employee system PC. From that PC, employee connect to this site and access securely. So a remote access VPN design requirements includes why we consider it for strong authentication to verify remote and mobile users, centralized management, and scalability to accommodate user groups. Now we will talk little bit more on VPN implementation part. So next is VPN implementation. Okay. A complete VPN implementation supports site-to-site and remote access VPNs. This allows a company worldwide access to network resources, link mobile workers to corporate intranet or internet to allow customer to place order and enable suppliers to check inventory levels in a high secure and cost-effective manners. The complete VPN must include this terminology. The terminology is number one, we call it endpoints. A gateway, cluster of gateway or remote client software for a mobile user which negotiate your VPN links, we call it endpoints. Number two, trust entities. For example, the Check Point Internal Certificate Association, ICA. The ICA is a part of the Check Point suite used to establish trust for SIC connection between gateway on authenticating administrator and third-party servers. The ICA provides certificate for internal gateways and remote access clients which negotiate the VPN links. The second one is trust utilities. Here we talk about the Internal Certificate Authority. If you don't know more about the Internal Certificate Authority, watch my other course where I have explained about all the checkpoint terms and terminologies. Next is management tools. Security Management Server, SMS. In that we have a smart dashboard is a part of the smart console, right? Or a component used to access the SMS. The VPN manager is a part of the smart dashboard. Smart dashboard enable organization to define and deploy site-to-site and remote access VPNs. So we can create remote access VPNs using management tools. So keep this in mind when we talk about the VPN implementation. We'll go to configure endpoints. We'll consider trust entities. Here I talk about ICA, but you have the encryptions and all those algorithms and management tools like a checkpoint, smart console, who's connect to your SMS, and from there we do the configuration. All right, let's understand more. Next, we'll talk about VPN setup. All right. So configuring a VPN can be a complicated task for security administrator. Checkpoint management tools provide a simplified VPN setup mode, simplifying the VPN configuration process and making setup straightforward and simple, which we're going to see in a bit. So understanding VPN deployment, Checkpoint VPN manager model enable administrators to directly define a VPN on a group of gateways. Each gateway in a group and all or a part of its protected domain constitutes a VPN site. A VPN site is not to be confused with a site that defined for endpoint security secure access clients. Each VPN site performs encryption on behalf of VPN domains. The protected domain or a part of the domain requiring encrypted connection to the peer VPN site. System administrator group VPN site together, creating a VPN community. A VPN community is a collection of VPN sites and enable the VPN tunnel secure connection among them with predefined properties which are automatically applied to each VPN community members. The structure of the VPN community is automatically translated into encrypted connections among its members, relieving the administrator of the task of designing and defining encryption rules. Just by defining a VPN community, the administrator has completed the VPN configuration. Once access control has been set and encompasses security system is in place, all is good. Since this VPN management model separates the VPN as a secure connectivity platform from access control, no access control related decision will affect the VPN communities. Now, let's understand what is VPN community or VPN communities. Okay. So, creating a VPN tunnel between gateway is made easier through the configuration of the VPN communities. To understand VPN communities, we need to understand few terms with respect to the VPN communities. Number one, VPN community members. All right. So basically, the gateway that reside at one end of the VPN tunnel we call as a VPN community member. So consider I have a site-to-site tunnel between, or I wanted to configure a site-to-site VPN between a checkpoint firewall and Palo Alto firewall. So gateway of checkpoint firewall and gateway of Palo Alto firewall is your VPN community member. Okay. Next important key is VPN domain. VPN domain. The host behind the gateway, in simple terms. The VPN domain can be the whole network that lies behind the gateway or just a section of that network. For example, gateway might protect the corporate LAN and the DMZ. Only the corporate LAN need to be defined as a VPN domain. So this is critical. In Cisco term, we call it interesting traffic, the traffic which we want to protect. Okay, the subnet, which we consider who we going to take a part of VPN, and from that subnet, the traffic going to be communicate to each other, each side. That is your VPN domain. Next is VPN site. So community member plus VPN domain, a typical VPN site we call. So combining of these two, we call it VPN site. Consider you have consider the two sites whose we going to configure a VPN, the site 1 and site 2, like that. So a typical VPN site would be the branch office of a branch, like that. Next important term is VPN community. Although we're talking about it, but VPN community is the collection of the VPN tunnels, secure connection, and their attributes for your reference. Then we have different types of VPNs, which we call number one, your domain-based VPN. Domain-based VPN. And the other one is route-based VPN. All right. So domain-based VPN. In domain-based VPN, the routing VPN traffic based on VPN domains. As we discussed, what is domains? VPN domains. So the routing happens between these VPN domains and those VPN domains behind each gateway, which are taking a part of community. We'll be talking about star community, mesh community, but for now understand, in a star community, this allows satellite gateway to communicate with each other through central gateway. Likewise, route-based VPNs is something where traffic routed within the VPN community based on the routing information, static or dynamic or configured on the operating system to the gateway. So here your routing, whatsoever you define, the VPN traffic travel across that, and we are on VPN domains. So I hope you got the difference. All right. The method used for encryption and ensuring data integrity determine the type of tunnel created between the gateway. Smart management server can manage multiple VPNs communities, which means communities can be created and organized according to the specified needs. I hope the site-to-site VPN terms and terminology is clear now. Okay. Then we have something called a remote access VPN. Okay. Remote access VPNs. So a remote access VPNs, as we know, it's more of your communication between your VPN configured on your laptop to the site, right? But in remote access VPN also, we need to form remote access communities, right? So a remote access community is a type of VPN community created specifically for users who usually work from remote location outside the corporate LAN. This type of community ensures secure communication between users and the corporate LANs. We will talk on this. We'll be having labs But for now, understand what purpose we have for the remote access communities. All right. Now, let's move to the VPN topology. VPN topology is also very important to understand. So, your security management server, it supports two main VPN topology. Security management supports two main VPN topology. One is mesh and the another one is star. Let's understand what is mesh. So mesh VPN community we generally call. So a mesh VPN community is a VPN community in which VPN site can create a VPN tunnel with any other site in the community. In simple term, consider you have these 4 VPN gateways. So in mesh VPN community, we can form tunnel between all these together. Okay, or we can combine and form a VPN tunnel between them, and the data will travel across them. As simple as that, we call mesh topology or mesh VPN community. Whereas in a star VPN community, a star VPN community is a VPN community consisting of central gateway or hub and satellite gateway or spoke, right? Consider this. You have a main central gateway and there is other gateways configured as a satellite gateways. Okay. So a satellite gateway, for example, this guy can create a tunnel only with the site whose gateway are defined as a central gateway. For example, this guy can create a tunnel with here, this guy will create a tunnel here. This is a central gateway consider. This guy will create a gateway a tunnel here, this guy create a tunnel here. So whatever the tunnel is getting created from these satellite gateways is through central gateway. So a satellite gateway cannot create a VPN tunnel with the gateway that is also defined as a satellite gateway. For example, if this guy want to create a tunnel with this guy, this is not possible. So central gateway can create a VPN tunnel with the other central gateways only if the mesh central gateway option has been selected in the central gateway window of star community or star property. So this guy central gateway can create a VPN tunnel with mesh community central gateway. Consider this is also central gateway. This is possible. So this sort of scenario rarely we see too much VPN community connections, but it is possible based on these standards. Okay. And next is like follow thing on this choosing a topology, like what you need to choose. You need to choose mesh or you need to choose star. Which topology you're going to select. So which topology to be choose for a VPN community depends on the overall policy of the organization. For example, a mesh community is usually appropriate for an intranet in which only gateways that are part of the internally managed networks are allowed to participate. Gateway belonging to the company's partners are not. Whereas in a star, VPN community is usually appropriate when an organization need to exchange information with network belonging to external partners. These partners need to communicate with organization but not with each other. The organization's gateway is defined as central gateway and partner gateway are satellites. And combination of VPNs, if I talk, so for more complex scenarios, considering a company with a headquarter in two countries like London and New York, each headquarter has a number of branch offices. The branch offices only need to communicate with the headquarters in their countries, not with each other. Only the headquarters in New York and London need to communicate directly. To comply with this policy, define two-star communities, London and New York. Configure the London and New York gateway as a central gateway. Configure the gateway of New York and London branch office as a satellite gateway. This allows the branch offices to communicate with headquarters in their country. And we need to create a VPN mesh community consisting of London and New York gateways. So in short, let me represent this with the diagram. So consider this gateway and this gateway, they act as a mesh, right? So it has a mesh community in between them. And here we have a satellite gateway to this. So this is say New York and this is say London, right? And here also we have a satellite gateways, right? And this guy having a tunnel between them, this guy having a tunnel between them, but only these guys are talking to each other. So such sort of scenarios we can configure using the combination of these checkpoint topologies. Now let's talk more of your VPNs. You might heard there is always question asked during the interview, what is a simplified VPN and what is versus traditional VPN, right? So simplified mode makes it possible to maintain and create simpler, less error prone and more secure VPN tunnels. It also makes it easy to understand the VPN topology of an organization and understand who is allowed to communicate with who. In addition, new VPN features such as VPN routing are supported only with the simplified mode security policy. It is the advanced one. However, when organizations that have large VPN deployment with a complex networks may prefer to maintain existing VPN definition and continue to work within a traditional mode until they are able to migrate their policy to the simplified mode. So all the latest features like VPNs using routing is possible in simplified mode, but the organization having the old topology and they have some dependencies, then they go with the traditional mode. Now let's talk one important thing. When we do the labs, we'll see this, like there is something called uh, permanent tunnel. Uh, Companies have become more dependent on VPNs for communication to the other side. Uninterrupted connectivity has become more crucial than ever before. Therefore, it is essential to make sure the VPN tunnels are kept up and running. Permanent tunnels are constantly kept active and as a result make it easier to recognize malfunctions and connectivity problems. Administrator can monitor the two sides of the VPN tunnel and identify problems without any delays. So each VPN tunnel in a community may be a permanent tunnel. Since permanent tunnels are constantly monitored, then a log, alert, or user-defined action can be issued if the VPN tunnel fails. A VPN tunnel is monitored by periodically sending tunnel test packets. As long as response to the packets are received, the VPN tunnel is considered up. If no response is received within a given time period, the VPN tunnel is considered down. Permanent tunnels can only be established between the checkpoint gateways. The configuration of permanent tunnel takes place on the community level and can be specified. An entire community, this option sets every VPN tunnel in a community as a permanent. we can set a specific gateway, use this option to configure specific gateway to have permanent tunnels. A single VPN tunnel, this features allows configuration specific tunnels between specific gateway as a permanent tunnels. So for a sake, uh, if you go to your checkpoint community, for example, let me just go to this, and if you see tunnel management, here we have these options which we just discussed. If you want to set a permanent tunnel, you'll be having these options, and based on the requirements we are selecting this. So an entire community, this option is, I mean, here if you enable all tunnel in the community, this options sets every VPN tunnel in the community as a permanent tunnel. If we specify a specific gateway, then this option is specifies a gateway to have a permanent tunnel. And if we just say if you say specific tunnel in the community, so this also says specific things which we can set depending on our requirement into tunnel. All right. As here we have options. It's like for the tunnel testing for the permanent tunnels, we have this uh, tunnel testing proprietary things from the checkpoint side. How it works basically, a packet has an arbitrary length with only the first byte containing the meaningful data. So this type field, the type field can be taken any of the form. So basically in a permanent tunnels, as I discussed, test, reply, connect, connected sort of packets, indications which we transfer across the two sides, and based on this status only, we'll come to know the status of VPN tunnels. So this is one important thing. And next important thing I would like to talk is this VPN tunnel sharing. Okay, this is generally people don't understand why we say this, what it means, and all those things. So this guy, VPN tunnel sharing is also important, critical, and needed when we talk about the VPN thing, right? So this is the three different options here we can see. So let's talk about them. Since various vendors implement IPsec tunnel using a number of different methods, administrators need to cope with different means of implementation of the IPsec framework. VPN tunnel sharing provide interoperability and scalability by controlling the number of VPN tunnels created between peer gateways. VPN tunnel sharing provides you interoperability and scalability by controlling the number of VPN tunnels created between the peers gateways. We have three settings available, as you can see. Number one is one VPN tunnel for each pair of hosts. That means a VPN tunnel is created for every session initiated between every pair of hosts. Then we have one VPN tunnel per subnet pair. It means once a VPN tunnel has been opened between two subnets, subsequent sessions between the same subnet will share the same VPN tunnels. This is the default setting and is compliant with the IPsec industry standards. That's why generally we see one VPN tunnel per subnet pair most of the time. And then there is this one VPN tunnel per gateway pair. So one VPN tunnel is created between the peer gateways and shared by all hosts behind each peer gateways. So these are the some important terms which we need to keep in mind when we talk about VPN tunnel sharing. Now, let me just quickly discuss important things which generally we don't talk. When you go to the uh, global properties. Here you will see some remote access terms, right? VPN authentication, advanced, this SSL network extender, secure mobile client, endpoint connects, and all those things. So VPN authentication and encryption methods we generally use to authenticate between the get the authentication between your uh, remote endpoints, right? Uh, but let me talk about this SSL network extender. So generally, the SSL connections are, a great solutions we have for the remote access communication because they do not require any IT department to upgrade and manage their client software, right? It automatically get downloads. So all a user need, just all what the user need is a web browser, right? However, remote users still need to access applications, right? So this SSL network extender is a browser plugin that provides clientless remote access while delivering full network connectivity for IP-based applications. So it also called SNX, generally short for SSL network extender. So SNX adds SSL VPN functionality to the IPsec VPN capabilities of a checkpoint security gateway, simplifying remote access deployment while providing maximum flexibility for any type of remote access scenarios. I hope this part is clear. Generally, we don't talk about this. Next is, let's go to the gateway and go to this VPN clients, and here you'll see some options like office mode, right? So office mode addresses routing issues between the client and the gateway by encapsulating IP packets with the remote user's original IP address, thereby enabling a user to appear as if they were in the office while connecting remotely. So whichever the subnet you're going to define here, that subnet IP will be uh, configured for the your remote endpoint or laptop or PC whatsoever. So your PC will act like it is a part of your office network only, right? So office mode also provide us a capability, as you can see here, anti-spoofing by ensuring that the IP address encountered by the gateway is authenticated and assigned to the users. So this is why we have this anti-spoofing here. All right. Likewise, we can go with different labs and set up all these things. But for now, understand the terms and terminologies. So I hope you understand the basic of the checkpoint VPNs. In next video, we'll see some advanced concepts.